Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Today I have to apologize for the camera angle and the quality of video. If it's better, hey, works. If it's worse, please accept my apologies in advance. The normal camera, the HTC RE, has decided to take a sick day and not want to shoot video, so the LG V30 has stepped into its place, and this video today is being shot by the LG V30. So thank you very much, LG V30, for being the next man up, so to speak, and shooting this video. Audio, single-ended or balanced? Single-ended or balanced? Which ones do I prefer? What do I listen to? Why do I listen to it? How did it come about? All that kind of stuff. Well, the Focal Elex is what changed my life. The headphone came, and it will get its full review and a comparison with other headphones that I have. But when it came with two cables, a single-ended and a balanced, and so I knew going forward I would eventually have to try it unbalanced. A lot of the reviews, a lot of people online and on the forums and stuff say that the Elex sounds good balanced and that we need to try it unbalanced. And so, of course, gotta get one, right? I want to do a review of the Elex, and I want to be able to give a differences and a comparison between what does it sound like on balanced versus on single-ended. And so I had to get one before I did the review. At least that's the logic of it. But I also wanted to wait patiently and get a wise choice and buy a good amp. I didn't want to just buy some cheap balanced amp on Amazon and then not really get a full potential. Well, an amp that has been highly recommended is the Aune X7S. See it all the time on Master-Op and on Amazon, on eBay, and it's always been on my list, but I never had a reason to get a balanced amp until now. Now, please do know I am aware this is not a fully balanced amp, as it does not have balanced inputs. It only has single-ended input, but whatever it does internally works really well, and you do tell a difference between the single-ended and the balanced output on it. So take that as a grain of salt. I find it to be very good for balanced. The unit itself is very well built, very solidly built. It's a little larger than I thought it was. It's slightly bigger than the topping stacks. If you have topping stacks, a little bit bigger than that, a little longer, a little wider. It is definitely heavier. The topping stack is pretty hefty. The Aune X7S is heftier. I mean, it's got some girth to it. Not to the point where you're like, oh, we'll have to use two hands to pick it up. But at the same time, it's not something that you can just kind of pick up with two fingers, unless you're like Hifiman or something. But anyways, the knobs, the knob on it is very nice and smooth. Has a little cutout where your thumb can sit, and it's very smooth. Looks real sharp. The the inputs are very well built. They're not too large, not too small. All the cables fit right on them snugly. Do not move. Do not pull out. Does not wiggle or feel loose in any way. And the LED light, which can be annoying on some devices, is not at all on this device. It's really small, like pinhole size, and it's a little itty-bitty light green color, and you can barely see it. You have to kind of shade it a little bit sometimes to see if it's on or not, if you don't remember if you hit the power switch. Power switch is on the back, which is kind of frustration, but that's okay, get over it. And the gain switches are on the bottom, so you have to flip the thing over. It's got a little diagram of what gain settings it is, and then you match up your switches, and you can have medium, off, medium, and high gain, I think is how it's set. I leave it on medium as that matches pretty much all my headphones that I have. And if you have headphones that require more power and high gain and low gain stuff, you're going to be switching and flipping the thing over, disconnecting your wires, and it can be kind of a pain. So just keep that in mind. It does not have a gain switch on the front, which would be nice. That's probably my biggest gripe, is it doesn't have the gain switch on the front. But I also understand they're trying to make it look as clean as possible and trying to make it look as nice and smooth as, you know, aesthetically pretty. So it is what it is. The headphones, hi kitty, that I'm using on balanced are the Focal Elex, the Hifiman 4XX, and the Advanced Alpha. The Elexes are going to get their own reviews, so I'm not going to mention them today in comparison, but I am going to mention about the 4XX and the Advanced Alpha. 4XXs, the cable that I got is from KK Cable. I found it on Amazon. Has a Nutric 4-pin, and then it has the 3.5 millimeters. So if you have the newer versions of the 4XXs with the 3.5 millimeters, this cable will work on it. And then on the Advanced Alpha, the cable that I have on here is by a gentleman named Bushman Cables, and find him on eBay. I've gotten 2 cables for my Advanced Alpha from him, and they both work great and highly recommend it. So keep an eye out for him if you're looking for cables for the Advanced Alpha. Sound-wise, single-ended, the X7S is adequate. It's not as powerful as the topping A30 amp, but it is a nice sounding amp. Has plenty of power. On the Advanced Alpha, which are my hardest to drive headphones, and on the 4XX, which are just a tad below the Advanced Alpha, you have to turn it to 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the dial, and it is to the point where it's sounding good, but it's too loud. So it drives it, but it doesn't drive them to their full potential. On high gain, to me, it made them sound a little too glary and splashy and bright in the treble, and didn't have as much of a clean sound excuse me, in the mids and in the bass on high gain. So that's the reason why I go to medium gain. That's like the happy medium, and they sound decent on single-ended. And that goes for both headphones. It has good bass, has nice warmer texture on the mids, and the treble is very nicely extended, goes up very well, and has nice detail, very good sound staging, very good imaging and detail on the amp, single-ended wise. But you put into balanced, and you don't have to turn it as loud because you get more power. But on the other thing that it does is it opens up the soundstage, especially on the 4XX. It opens up the soundstage more, and it adds more body to the sound, so it sounds more immersive and more engaging. And the 4XX is a very laid-back headphone to begin with, so it brings them up a little bit, gives them a little bit of energy, and it adds a little bit of sparkle and a little bit more energy in the treble for the 4XX, and that's very nice actually for them, and it has a nice thump in the bass. So the 4XX has really come alive on balanced, and sound a whole lot better than they do on single-ended on the X7S. Love the 4XXs on balanced on the X7S. The Advanced Alpha, on the other hand, is a little unique in that it opens them, adds soundstage and a little bit of imaging and detail, but what it does on some songs, because these headphones are already a little bit mid and treble forward, it adds a little too much in the treble, a little bit too much energy, and they become sibilant and a little harsh on some songs, especially songs that aren't mastered real well, or songs that have high treble songs to begin with. So the Advanced Alpha's treble frequency issues that they already have are a little more brought out by being unbalanced. Not that they sound bad. It just adds on some songs, it adds a weird like glare or a shine to the treble and to the mids, to the upper mid, and it doesn't always play real well. But overall, they're okay on balance. You just have to be aware of what genres of music you're listening to, and the quality of music that you're listening to. So the advanced alphas are more picky in that regard. 4XXs are amazing on balanced. Totally amazing. The overall thoughts on the X7S. Single-ended, it's all right, but if you're buying it for a single-ended amp, you're not using it properly, in my opinion. The X7S should be used balanced. That's where it comes out to its potential and just plays music amazingly. I love it on balance. Single-ended, I'm all right. But if I'm going to listen to something on single-ended, I'm going to get my topping stack out or my tube amp out and use that. Balanced X7S. So, more detailed review of the ELEX will be coming out shortly, probably within the next week or so. So be looking forward to that. And hopefully some more information regarding the X7S will also be involved in that, as I will be able to give a little bit more detail with that headphone and what the X7S does for it. And then I will do a comparison between those three headphones also, as I start to be able to do comparisons now that I have my X7S and I can do balance and single-ended, do comparisons of those three, and let you all know which ones fit values and bang for the dollars and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, this has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.